Today we're going to be going over and talking about lots of different techniques, I think around 19 or 20 different techniques, and quickly explaining how to do each one. I am also a little bit ill today, so please bear with me. But first of all, we're going to talk about all the different types of picking. And first of all, we're going to talk about alternate picking, probably the most basic type of picking apart from down picking. But all alternate picking is obviously an alternating motion. So every single pick is opposite to last. So we have a down pick, then an up pick, down, up. And it's always going to be different to last, so it's always going to be down, up, down, up, down, up. This means that sometimes when we have licks that go through the strings, so we're going across all the strings, we sometimes get a small string skip because we need to jump over the string to keep the motion, drop my pick, to always keep the motion alternate. And this really only happens when we have odd numbers of notes per string. So like here, we want to keep it alternate, down, up, down, up, down, up. We need to go down, up, down, and then jump over the string to get the up. Like that. Then we have economy picking. This is just alternate picking, but we pick in the same direction in which our hand moves. So if we change strings, like that, we always pick in the direction we're moving. So we just go down, up, down, 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 up, down. We have 3 downs because we're moving in that down direction. It's a little bit like a small sweep pick because we're still moving that direction. We're pushing through the strings to keep our motion as efficient as possible. If you want more detail on those 2 techniques, then go check out my last video where we talked about alternate and economy picking and which technique is better. Now we have down picking, which is the most basic technique, and that is just down picking. Always doing the down motion, and this is used lots in metal to get that kind of aggressive chuggy sound, but also in some jazz lines I've noticed. Hybrid picking, that's just using the pick and our fingers. We're mashing the 2 techniques together, and usually we use it when we have a bit of a string skip in a lick or line, and we usually use the pick for the lower notes on the lower strings and our fingers on the higher notes on the higher strings. And you can see it loads in songs from bands like Polyphia. Finger picking, very obvious. It's probably the first way of picking you ever learn. Very versatile, used everywhere, just always, all the time. And it's probably most common in classical guitar and bossa nova. Because we have that claw, can't get that with a pick. Unless you're hybrid. Okay, so that's a good technique. Tremolo picking, and this is just a fast alternate pick, usually on 1 string, to get that trembling effect. That kind of trembling effect. Usually this is done with a violin, but we can still do it with a pick. Sweep picking, we're only picking once per string here, so we're probably using some legato. And we usually use arpeggios with our left hand, and we're just, like economy picking, we're going through the strings. We're getting that sweeping motion with our pick. We're sweeping through the strings. Okay, so that's sweep picking. Legato, here we're using hammer-ons and pull-offs to get the sound. We're not using our pick so much. We might use our pick to start it, but usually we're just using our left hand. Okay, so that's legato. We have our hammer-ons and our pull-offs. And a quick tip with our pull-offs, we're not just coming off the string or the fret. We're actually physically pulling away. Okay, we're not just lifting off the fret. To get a good sound, we pull off like that. Okay, we pull away from the string. So that's a quick tip for our legato. Tapping, here we're using legato, hammer-ons and pull-offs with both our hands. So we don't need a pick. We can either get rid of our pick and use our index finger, but I like to keep my pick because it's usually integrated in some solos or some lines. So I keep my pick and use my middle finger. And all we're doing here is we just hammer on, pull off, hammer on, hammer on. It does take a little bit of a while to get used to it. I still can't do it very well. so I don't practice it. It's a very fun technique, and it is in loads of solos. Eddie Van Halen is really good at it, so go learn some songs from Eddie Van Halen. Pick tapping is the exact same deal as normal tapping, but we swap our finger we use on our right hand with our pick. So we're going to use the side of our pick, this side of our pick, and just tap normally. And we usually use it in quite fast tapping lines because it's quite staccato. Like that. We don't get much of this note when we tap with it, so we use it when we're doing quite fast tapping. Bending, again, a very common, easy technique. All we're doing here is we're bending the string to tighten the string to get a higher pitch note. I want to bend this. I want to bend this note. Quite a hard bend. So we're just bending up to a note by tightening the string to get a higher pitch sound. Slides, again, a very simple, common technique. And all we're doing here is we're literally just sliding from one note up to another. And we need to make sure when we do this that we keep the pressure the same as we're sliding. We need to make sure that we don't come off and kind of mute the string to get that kind of broken sound like that. We want to keep the pressure going the whole way through, so you get that climbing sound. Okay, so we'll always keep the pressure with this one. Harmonics, natural harmonics, are very easy actually, and they're most easy at the 5th, 7th and 12th fret. Mainly easiest at 12th, because it's halfway it's halfway in the string. And all we're going to do here is we're going to lightly place our finger on the string above the fret wire, which is this silver bit. This is the fret, between them is the fret, and the fret wire is the silver bit. And we're just going to place our finger on the string. We're not going to fret the string, we're not going to fret, and we're just going to place it over, barely touching the string, like that. Tapped harmonics, the exact same deal as natural harmonics. We're still cutting the frequency, but we're doing it by tapping very quickly and very precisely, and actually quite lightly. We're not going to hammer our finger into the fretboard like that. We don't need to put much pressure on it. We're just going to do it enough so we get the string just touching the fret wire. So very light tap. Okay? Like that. Pinch harmonics, the same idea as natural harmonics, but we're just doing it in this range here where we're picking. We're using our picking hand only. So if I split the kind of technique, you get that. So you can see it's kind of the same idea. There we go. The same idea. We're just lightly applying a tiny little bit of pressure to the string to cut the frequency at that point. Okay? First of all, we've got to find where pinch harmonics are on your guitar. So I'm going to pick this one. And that's kind of right above my neck pickup. Or maybe actually just behind it. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use, or I like to use, the side of my thumb. And I just pick through the string and then very lightly touch the string with the side of my thumb to cut the string. Like that. Same idea as that, but just with our thumb. Okay? This is one of the hardest techniques, this is the hardest harmonic technique. So it will take a lot of time and a lot of practice to get it very consistent. But yeah, it's a very fun technique and use loads and loads and loads of metal. And it's really good and very versatile. Pick scrapes. All we're going to do here is we're going to dig our pick into the string. So if you look at the string, you can see there's kind of like these grooves where it's been wound on, especially on the low E. So you can see the kind of grooves where it's been wound, the string's been wound. And we're just going to dig our pick into that and just drag it across. So that we get that kind of jet flying over you sound. Okay? So that's a very easy technique. Gajira scrapes. These are very fun because they sound really cool. All we're going to do here is we're just going to kind of mute the strings. We're just going to place our hand somewhere on the neck. It's usually done around the 3rd to 5th fret to get that sound. And we're just going to drag our pick through the strings. And it does help a little bit if we angle the pick. So we're not going flat face, we're not going to the face dragging. I like to use this kind of edge, same edge here, and just drag it like that. It's a little bit easier to drag, and it has a different noise, not as harmonic-y. So if I use the face, then if I use the side, get that scrapey sound, and it's really cool. I love it. Power chords. This is just a chord with 2 notes, and it's the root and the 5th. So to get the root and the 5th, so we want an A sharp or an A power chord. Let me say sharp. A power chord. We just have the root A, go up a string, and up 2 frets. 5th. And there is different power chords. So you can see here. Okay, so we've got lots of different ways to do power chords, and there are some cool ones when you go into D. So I'm in drop D, and if you use the same technique, going this up 2, we do that, and we get a really cool sound when we're in drop D. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? That's cool as well. And that is just doing this. So that's the same thing. But this is cool, I love this. It's really dark and dissonant. And if you're in D, drop D, then this is the root and the 5th. So a power chord is just this. Okay? And finally, double stops. This is different power chords, but it's still 2 notes played at the same time. It creates more of a harmony rather than a chord. And it is that bluesy sound that you hear, it's that bluesy sound you hear. But it's just 2 notes. Okay, so it's that bluesy sound, and it's just 2 notes played at the same time. But yeah, double stops are really cool, and they are the bluesy sound. But that's all the techniques I'm going to go over today. If you'd like me to do another video like this with different techniques or more techniques, then let me know in the comments, and let me know which techniques you'd like me to talk about as well. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, turn the notification bell on, and go check out my other videos on my channel, and I will see you in the next one.